This program is about leadership, social justice, and humanity, and everything that concerns us as human beings. People would rather not talk about them, yet they have views to be expressed, challenged, and discussed. Hello, the purpose of this program is to challenge, educate, create awareness, and provoke debates on leadership, religion, traditions, cultures, morality, and other social issues that contend to control the way we live, but yet no one wants to speak about them. Welcome to X-Ray with Jenny. Today, we're going to discuss about women, children, and all the things that matter to Africa. My question today is, are African women and children still part of the 21st century? If we are, why are we being treated differently? Why are the rights of women of Africa and their children being constantly eroded and no one is asking questions? When are we going to start saying things that will help to empower the African woman and help her to support her children? Today, I'd like to discuss the rights of women and children in Africa. All the time when I see the plight of women and children, I keep asking myself, are we still part of the 21st century? Why are the rights of women and children being eroded? Why is no one taking any interest in the rights of women and children? When are we going to stop being a third world country that will continue to receive aids from other parts of the world, despite the fact that we are naturally endowed and we can do better than a lot of these people who naturally depend on us for whatever they do and who they are? When can the African woman begin to take control of her life? Can the African woman alone combat the challenges that continue to hold back the advancement of women? Where is the African man? Is the African man recognizing that we cannot win this war against marginalization of women without his support? When is the African male going to take interest in the welfare of women and children? Women are the foundation of society. Without women, we will not be who we are today. And our children are our future. They are our tomorrow. If we don't invest in them and empower them, how do we then expect to have a better tomorrow and a better Africa? I often despair when I travel through the streets of Lagos and other parts of Nigeria and a few other countries I have been to. And I see young children as young as 5 carrying banana, fruits and other things and selling on the street. And this is during the day when they are supposed to be in school. Who is looking after them? But why are they doing that? They are doing that because the men continue to have children with women, and these women are left alone to look after these children. What future does this sort of life hold for children? How are we going to combat them? I talk about women empowerment, and some people think that women empowerment is about feminism, which is taking over from men. But really and truly, is that the truth? If that is the truth, how come that we've been talking about it all this while and we still have not taken over? How come that we are talking about it and today in most African parliaments, you have more men than women who are actually making laws and decisions for us? I am now saying that it's about time we begin to look inwards to find out why the African woman has not emancipated fully and why the African child is still suffering. Why is the African child still a subject of gifts and sorry stories around the world? How come that our leaders have everything they need and many people can live above average bread level, But yet the African child is still scavenging and selling things on the street in order to support family. Supporting families are the roles of adults. And if you don't empower a child, they can't play their roles in society. I'm now going to invite you to please take a look at majority of our African children. Today we have so many of them as members of gangs. We have so many of them as members of courts at universities. We also have them as members of terrorist groups. How long are we going to deal with all these issues? Please come with me and have a look at what is happening around the world, especially around children in Africa. Welcome back. I'm sure that you must have been wondering why she is talking so much about the rights of women and children in Africa. It is a cause that I'm very passionate about. But we can't continue to criticize. We can't continue to complain. The time has come for us to begin to find solutions to our problems. We need to ask ourselves questions. Do our problems lie with our tradition and culture, which we are failing to bring into the 21st century? Do they lie with the willful act of people in leadership who are refusing to accept that all human beings are equal, and the rights they exercise and enjoy are also rights that ordinary people, especially women and children, should also enjoy? In regards to women, I am thinking that much has been said about women development, but for me, that is lip service. The time now is for real action, and the action starts with the education of the minds of our women. Our women are very intelligent people. Some of us have been very unfortunate not to have education because their families and parents did not have the money or the foresight to send them to school. I am not saying that education is the foundation or certificate to intelligence, but it is a background that every woman should have. Many of us have not been able to get that education at the right time. We've started our lives having children before we actually became adults. But we are still young. We can still do it. Nobody can tell me that it's ever too late for education for any woman. Our government needs to begin to design projects, educational projects, that will help women, especially mothers who are doing it alone, to gain education, be it on a part-time basis, be it on an evening basis, even if it's a night school. I give you a typical example. I'm a woman who had so much ambition. I wanted to be everything in life, but I didn't have the opportunity to do most of the things I wanted to do in life. I actually schooled myself on a part-time basis in order to qualify as a professional. And I'm sure that if our government can actually begin to pay attention to these things and give women the courage to go the way I have gone, there will be a lot of opportunities for women. Women will begin to explore life and begin to understand that having children, not having money is usually or are usually not going to be the end of the road for you. There is so much you can do with your time. There is so much you can do with your life, but you need to start somewhere. I am thinking that our government should begin to design special educational packages and projects which will help women to gain confidence, to explore their talents, and then find out where they're fitting. It's never too late. Please sell the message that it is never too late. You can start anytime. And when we talk about our children, of course, we need to begin to think about how to get them off the street. When you send a child off the street, selling and hawking goods on the street, you are exposing that child to danger. The government must follow the footsteps of many governments in the world, where education for children is mandatory. And where parents fail to send those children to school, they have to be arrested, or they need to actually be asked questions to find out why they're not doing it. I know that in Africa, one of the major problems is lack of money because children are supposed to pay for basic education. But I'm advocating a situation where every ordinary African must appreciate that in order for society to be the way we expect it to be, and in order for us to advance ourselves, every child needs education. And to do that, all of us have a responsibility to support every child. I have advocated education for children, but I need to correct the impression that some people may want to form for convenience. I am not trying to say that going to university and having a degree is a certificate of intelligence. No, far from it. Not all of us are supposed to have university degrees. Not all of us are interested in going to university. Some of us are skilled and talented naturally and differently. And that means that we can exist without going to university. But what I'm saying then is that children must have the solid background to have basic education, because by having basic education, they think better, they think clearer, and they are able to then decide which side they want to go. They'll be able to identify their talents. They'll be able to decide whether they are the type that want to go to university. In my younger days, when I look back now, I laugh because my family wanted me to be a medical doctor. And I knew that I had no head for science, but I had to actually get the basic education. But getting that basic education exposed me to a lot of things. I began to see all the various sub-subjects that people can do and can study and where it could lead them. And I chose where I want to be. And I can't lie about it. I am very happy that I made that decision. But without basic education, I wouldn't have been able to make that decision. So I'm just saying to parents, I'm saying to government, the time is now. We need to pay more attention to our children. If we want kidnappers off our streets, and if we want Boko Haram off our streets, and all the people that we don't like in society, then we need to support our children to get education. Then we need to appreciate our children and show them that they belong. Because what I see is that children are very, very despondent. They're not happy. They don't have direction. They don't have guidelines. They feel abandoned. And when they feel abandoned, they look for things that will make, draw attention to themselves. A lot of our children who are involved in crime are not born criminals. It's purely that they are bored, they don't have things to do, and because they don't have things to do, they need to find things to keep the mind busy. And sometimes it happens to be the negative things. And that will bring us to the topic about parenting. We need to be good examples to our children. We can't continue to condemn children and blame them for everything that goes wrong in society without being there for them, without supporting them. I listened to a program, Whose Child? And that means that every child belongs to somebody, but some children are not so fortunate to have the sort of family background that I have and so many people have. And we cannot just assume that because it's all right for us, it's also okay for other children. Look out there, find out who you can help. If there's any child who needs help and who needs support and you can help them, please take them on board, help them. I watched a program, I attended an event recently, and they talked about the reason why you have more young black kids in prison in the UK, out of school, doing the wrong things. And he narrowed it down to the fact that there are so many absent parents because they are not playing their roles. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. And some of us sometimes, neglecting the fact that we have actually played a role in who our children have become, decide that the best thing to do is take the children abroad. Are you taking these children abroad to be raised by who? Children are best raised by their parents. I am therefore saying to parents, we also have a role to play. And that role can only be advanced if we take it seriously and we love our children by showing them who we expect them to be, who they are, and assuring them that they are part of the system, they are part of the 21st century. The idea that, this is not how we did things in those days will no longer be relevant because those things are no longer relevant. We need to begin to look at where we are taking our children, where we have not taken them, why, and where we need support. We must seek that support. If it means you adopting a child in order to just school that child, please do it. But if it doesn't work, we can also help the government to put together funds that will provide free education for children up to secondary school level. Then at that stage, we need to talk about education at higher level. And until we do so, I cannot see a future where our children and their women will begin to see themselves as part of society. And when people do not feel as part of society, they do not help the society to advance because either way they put it, they are still the underdogs of society, and no one wants to be the underdogs of society. Thank you very much for listening. I'm hoping that I have inspired you and that you will watch us next time. Thank you very much. This program is about leadership, social justice, and humanity, and everything that concerns us as human beings. People would rather not talk about them, yet they have views to be